So let's continue with our NFT art generator creation here. So last time that we created the NFT DNA generate function to create a DNA sequence of DNA for the NFT image layers. So today let's continue with that and let's work on the checking for the unique DNA to ensure that we don't have any duplicates, and also um, assigning those use the NFT DNA sequence to construct an array or a sequence of image layers. I mean, a sequence of a name of an image. Um, so let's go ahead and do that. So let's go to the create data section there. So here are going to be our still going to be our logic here. So last time we used the random number generator to generate the sequence of NFT image layer DNAs. So it came out with I think we used we passed in the data. Yes, okay, we passed in the data from here. So, and based on the data, we randomly generate a sequence of the DNA for the one set of images. Next, I think what we want to do is to keep tracking the number of DNA we want to edit. So that way we can have a array of different sequence of NFT DNAs. So we want to probably starting a function that will most likely starting the process of creating those kind of things. What we want to do is, let's say if we're starting the process, we want to potentially passing in, we want to generate 10 NFTs, but we want them to be a different set of it. Then we need to probably give a additional sizes, number of addition. So but inside there we want to create a DNA list that can keep tracking the sequence of DNA. So then maybe we want to do a while loop. So what we want is have a probably need to keep tracking for additional count equal to 1, and we want to make sure the addition count is always smaller equal to the number of addition. Then we want to create the DNA for the layer. So we will need to pass in the layer information we needed. In that way, we can just call that new DNA equal to create DNA layer here. Then we just pass in the layers. So that way we'll generate one sequence of the unique DNA. And then right here is where we want to checking to see if that is unique enough. So we want to create a separate function. That's probably gonna say is unique DNA. And then we want to pass in the DNA list. It's going to be an integer. And we also want to pass in the DNA itself as a sequence of integer array. And then we want to see, we want to know if that's actually unique or not. So for that, we're probably just gonna do returning. We want to see if this DNA list contains the DNA. If it contains, that means it's not unique. So I want to do the reverse. So in that case, then here we will actually do a so here we will actually do a if check for is unique DNA. Pass in the DNA list. And pass in your new DNA data. So let's do a print. And maybe we'll just print out the addition count for it. So maybe we should do is right after print the addition, and then it's a number. So we need to print this out. And right after that, we want to do an additional count plus equal to 1. So increment by 1. So let's run this start process to see what's that like. What kind of data actually like how many of that count actually prints, I would say. So if I do 10, at least it should give us 10 of the addition count. Start the process, number of addition, we'll do 10. Layers is going to be called layers. Let's run it. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We got what we wanted here. So next, we want to go back to adding the to create a array of series of NFT DNA. So to do that, we'll need to create another function here. What are we gonna call create layer to DNA. Basically, eventually the thing we want to return is an array of a string. So for one single image set. So the data we want to pass in, definitely we want to pass in the DNA that we generated. And also we want to pass in the layers. So then in there, we want to have a empty array to keep tracking whatever we are doing there. So unique layers or unique elements equal to an string array. And we definitely need to loop through whatever that layer is. So let's just loop through as a index and the dictionary, because we're trying to loop through the layers dictionary. Let's call this item because that dictionary name may a little bit confusing there. So layers dot enumerated, so that way we can. I think we are doing a dictionary. We don't really need enumerated, to be honest. Next one, I want to get to, so we want to get whatever the item is. So let images equal to item dot value. Oh, I guess we might still need it enumerated in order to get what we wanted. Yeah, okay. We still do need that. Next one, we want to so we have this array, and we want to match whatever the number of a DNA as the index of the image. So basically, want to create a selected image equal to the images, and we want to pass that DNA, and DNA will use whatever the index is to find. So basically, I probably should pass this out a little bit so you guys can see easier. So basically, we want to find the index of image. So the index of image is equal to DNA index. And then from there, we want to pass in the index of an image. So that way, because we're passing a sequence of DNA, based on the index will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on, depending on how many layers you've got, how many layers of images sets that you have there. So if, for example, the DNA, like if the first layer of image, you have 2 images in the first layer, then you're going to be index 0 and 1. And so the DNA will contain either 0 or 1, because based on the calculation, based on the algorithm that we did earlier, it should give you the correct index of the images. That way you can pick up whatever the selected image is. Technically, it's only bringing up the image set a name, because eventually you still need to construct those images. So that will give us the selected image. Then after that, we want to append those. We want to store those image names, so we can have a sequence array of image name. And after the whole array there, we just want to simply return whatever the unique element is. So right here, right after we check the DNA is not duplicated, then what we want to do is to create. So basically, you want to let image set equal to create layer 2 DNA. I want to pass in the new DNA data that we just generated, and also pass in the layers. So after that, we want to print out the array of the image set. Okay, so let's rerun this app again. And here it's generating 10 different unique set of images array. So then based on those images, we can actually generate a a bunch of different style of the NFT art. So let's continue next session. So we can construct this out to print out all the unique NFTs, and maybe we can add some more option to it. And so you'll be able to maybe importing file or maybe do some other kind of stuff. And thank you for watching, and hope you guys enjoy.